Colts GM Chris Ballard, who has been around professional football for years, very candid yesterday in a video conference about his own ability to kind of wall off and compartmentalize and live his life as a white American without fully appreciating the perspective, the struggles, and the discomfort that minorities have to deal with every single day. Here's Ballard from yesterday.
I can't sit here and remain silent because that's exactly what we've done every time our black community screams and yells for help. We have to end social injustices and racial inequalities. We have to end the police violence against our black communities. You know, Black Lives Matter. I don't understand why that's so freaking hard for the white community to say. Black Lives Matter. I've been ignorant. I've been ignorant to the real problem. And I'm ashamed of that. I just came to the realization here over the last 10 days with some really hard, difficult conversations that we've had as an organization, as a team, with my family, with my sons. And I've been ignorant to the real problem. See, this is not a black problem. This is a white problem. This is an issue that we have to talk about. And we can't sugarcoat it. We can't sugarcoat our way out of this. We can't go back into our bubble, because that's what we've always done. We've always gone right back into our bubble, and we've never really listened. We haven't listened. I haven't listened. We haven't listened as a country. White America refuses to listen. We want to keep things the same, and it can't. Or we'll continue down the same path we're continuing down. And that has to change, and nothing will change until we do that. I'm ashamed of that.
That was awesome. And I already had a ton of respect for Chris Ballard, the general manager of the Colts. But that's the kind of candor. That's the kind of, and you could see he's upset with himself for allowing so much time to go by without waking up to what is happening in front of him, what is happening around him. And it is easy for us to get caught up in our lives, the work that's in front of us, the family issues we deal with, the things we like to spend our free time doing. Days become weeks, weeks become months, months become years, and we like it when things don't pierce through our routine. Well, this is a time where we have to break from our routine. We have to be the ones who tear the walls down and pay attention to what's going on with other people. And I think that what Ballard said was spot on, and it's very inspiring, and I hope we all take it to heart.
Yeah, it's the saying, like, can we just get back to normal? That's our reaction whenever there is some big story, or, you know, the pandemic is also part of this, but it has led to some frustration of, can we get back to normal? Can we get back to normal? Well, no, we can't. That's the point, is that we need to not be it needs to not get back to normal. It needs to be uncomfortable, and things need to change. And so that's our initial reaction. I think a lot of times just be like, oh, well, if something's hard, let's just get back to normal. And that's not going to happen here. And that's a good thing. And if you felt uncomfortable in the last week and a half, that's a good thing. That means that maybe you're thinking about this, and it's clear that Chris Ballard is doing that.
And all these devices that have been used in the past to force things back to normal, I think are going to be failing miserably. We mentioned earlier, stick to sports. No one is giving that any credence anymore. The whole idea of don't disrespect the flag or the military, and that's what the conversation is about. That wall has come down. The different things that get thrown at me all the time. You're woke. Well, good. Now, you should be too, right? Social justice warrior. How is that a bad term? That people try. God forbid that there's be somebody who is sufficiently motivated to go on the offensive to try to make things better, to try to achieve social justice for all. These things, these labels that people use to kind of smack folks down and get them to quit talking about issues so they can go back to normal, so they can retreat to their bubble, so they can be undisturbed and not uncomfortable by the things going on around them. That to me, it's laughable how quickly those defenses have disintegrated in the wake of what's happened the last 10 days.
Yeah, But it took a long time, Mike. I mean, that's the thing is that in 2016, I keep going back to 2016, but this was an issue that was put in front of America in 2016 in a sports lens with Colin Kaepernick, and it's happened before. Obviously, there's been some great protests before, some great people who've spoken up before, but this was when it was the hot button issue. It was a national issue that everyone was talking about, and all those things worked, Mike. So it's not that far. It's 4 years removed, so it's. I think there's an element of it's moving in the right. Things feel like they move in the right direction, and I know that this last week and a half has been sad and tragic a lot of ways, and obviously George Floyd. Like that video is almost impossible to watch because of how sad and tragic it is. But there's also been some really good things that have come out of this, and it feels like there's been some small victories, and carrying that momentum forward is what it's all about.
I think in recent years, it's been just a quiet, gradual shifting of the tectonic plates. What's gone on over the last week and a half is an earthquake and aftershocks that will last until people are satisfied that there is true change. And it's not something that's going to go away quickly. I feel like it is a permanent adjustment to our reality. This is the second kind of permanent adjustment to our reality that we've had this year, from the virus now to this, where I think that whether you like it or not, and if you don't like it, get out of the way. Change is coming, and the change is overdue. And I feel like enough people are motivated, enough people are awake, enough people are willing to get out of their own bubbles to recognize that we are still very far away from being the nation that was envisioned 244 years ago.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.